Good afternoon. I'm Reverend Dr. Willie T. Raymond III, and I represent the North Carolina Retired School Personnel, and I serve as their president. My message is to the members of the North Carolina General Assembly. North Carolina Retired School Personnel at their April 4th meeting in Research Triangle during our representative assembly voted to ask the North Carolina General Assembly for a 5% increase in their COLA. I'm here as their president to speak on behalf of our membership. I want to remind legislators of something they already know. Inflation has risen over 18% the past 10 years, but we've gotten only 1% cost of living adjustment. We've also got two bonuses that equals 2.6%. We are 15% behind the cost of living adjustment. It is not a laughing matter. We are experiencing serious situations and circumstances financially. We have many members that live below North Carolina's level of poverty. We need our legislators to understand our plight and give us help. I represent individuals that have to make life-changing decisions daily because groceries, clothes, medicine, doctor visits, household repairs, utilities, automotive repair and upkeep, property taxes have all gone up tremendously. They have to decide whether to purchase food or to pay rent, whether to purchase medicine or to pay the electric bill, whether to go to the doctor or purchase gasoline. The recent gas prices and the tax tariff war have made these decisions even more imperative. Each group of individuals that work in the schools in North Carolina got a raise except for North Carolina Retired School Personnel. It is economically and morally wrong for legislators to say that they do not have enough money to give us a cost of living adjustment. Because listening to them, we hear that they even want us to pay premium on our insurance. The statement that they made saying, why do they need a raise when we pay their state insurance premium monthly? That statement to me paramounts to actually spitting in our face. Here we have today Regions 2 and 3 leaders, and these individuals here combine a total of 1,280 years of service. Our personal insurance and pension is not a raise. It was a promise that we were all made when we started to work. We have worked from 25 to 40 plus years because we were promised we would have a pension and our insurance would be paid. These benefits are two of the things that attracted us to public education. We are all college graduates. We could have gotten jobs making more money than working in classroom teaching boys and girls. But we chose to work with boys and girls because we wanted to make a difference, making a difference in children's lives, make a difference in our society. It is a fact that teaching and preaching are two professionals that are most underpaid and unappreciated. We have members who are working, who we call the working poor. They receive too much money to get public assistance, but not enough money to pay for the necessities of daily lives. Something is wrong with this scenario. Legislators put $1 billion in the rainy day fund. Something wrong with this scenario that we cannot get a cost of living adjustment. we're having to pay taxes again, and another increase. Something is wrong with this scenario. We're not asking for a whole loaf of bread. We just simply want several slices from that loaf. That bread is deserved, is desperately needed. We gave over 309,061 hours from our membership. This is documented, and it's only documenting 20% of our membership. At $24.90 an hour, we have donated $7,606,170.53. We are not sitting down waiting for our retirement checks to come. We are still alive and giving time, talent, resources to more than worthy causes in our state. We are not a liability to the state of North Carolina. We are an asset to the state of North Carolina. I implore the legislators to rediscover, reconsider North Carolina retired school personnel and give us a 5% COLA. Too long, we have been overlooked, marginalized, ignored, left out, demeaned, ignored, misrepresented, and taken for granted. I think it is the most hurting and daunting reality for me is to hear legislators say insurance is a benefit, and that's the reason that we're not getting a cost of living increase. 2021-22 biennial budget is less, $13 million less than the present biennial budget, but we are not getting a cost of living increase. $1 billion is put into the rainy day fund, but we are not getting a cost of living benefit. 80% of retired school personnel vote in every election. We are the most influential individuals in our communities. We helped to give the governor his veto authority back. We helped send 24 legislators home last year in the last election. We have already started working on the 2020 election because we know that our power is in the ballot box. There comes a time in everyone's life when we need help, when we have tried all that we know and it hasn't worked. We need help. When we come to hills that we cannot climb alone, when it comes to ditches we cannot cross alone, when it comes to doors we cannot open ourselves, when it comes to situations that we cannot face alone, when it comes to circumstances we cannot handle alone, there comes a time when we must ask for help. There comes a time when we must reach out to other individuals other than North Carolina retired school personnel and ask them for help. I am asking the citizens of North Carolina to call your legislators, email them, talk to them, ask them to give North Carolina retired school members a cost of living increase. We are asking for it not because it's not deserved, not because it's not needed. It is a needed COLA.
I am Christine Bowser. I've worked with the school system in Mecklenburg for 34 years, and I'm 80 plus.
I am Purcell Bowser. I retired from Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools after 32 years of service.
Our needs are different from what they were when I first started working, when he too started working. We were younger, we were able to cut the grass, do all of the house cleaning, wash windows, wash the cars, and do other things around the house. Our appliances now are 20 years and older. We need to replace them.
My name is Kim Whitley. I'm from Stanley County, and I taught for 30 years. I taught for 30 years with advanced degrees, and I accepted less money than I could have earned at any other job in the private sector. I was able to do that because my husband was self-employed in construction, and he made enough money for our family to survive on. I retired in July of 2008. The national election was in November of 2008, and by December 1st of 2008, my husband was unemployed. He was 55 years of age and not old enough to draw any kind of pension, so we were living solely on my retirement income. Over the next 8 years, construction work in our area was all but non-existent. He was able to work on our family farm, but all expenses on the family farm tripled or even worse than that. His health insurance premium was suddenly increased from $195 a month to $975 a month. So I added him to my health plan, which was $595 a month out of my retirement check. That at that time was our only income. So since 2008, everything in our household has increased except my monthly retirement check. We are due a COLA.
My name's Sandra Honeycutt. I worked for Stanley County Schools for 33 years. I started working in 1977, and I began working on my master's shortly thereafter. In 1982, in the summer of 1982, I finished my master's degree. In the fall of 1982, my salary was frozen for the next 7 years for the first time. That was not the only time in my career that my salary was frozen. Because my salary was frozen for 7 years, my cumulative pension is less than it would have been had I been paid over that time. I feel like my salary is being frozen again.
My name's Yvonne Williams. I'm from Forsyth County, and I retired after 26 years of teaching in the North Carolina public school system. Retirees, as Reverend and President Ramey mentioned, have had 3 1% COLA bonuses only in the past 10 years, with inflation rate as high as 18%. I own my own home. I'm my sole supporter. But recently, I had to buy a new air conditioner and a furnace. It was $7,100. The 1% COLA increase I might receive will certainly not help me with a $7,000 bill. I want to remind the North Carolina legislators of a couple of things. During the last few weeks of school, thousands of retirees at this moment are volunteering in classrooms. They're proctoring tests. They're helping educators in the schools finish the year out. I myself just proctored tests for 12 hours in a 2-day period last week. No charge. I was paying it forward. I was giving it back to the North Carolina public school system. I am asking the North Carolina General Assembly to pay it forward. Pay it forward to those who dedicated up to 30 years of their lives serving the North Carolina public schools. Give it to those thousands who donated, as Reverend Ramey mentioned, thousands of hours every year. No charge. And finally, I ask the General Assembly to respect those who in all likelihood educated you. Pay it forward and give it back to those who earned it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Karen Purser. I taught for 31 years in Union County Public Schools. I have found that over the last several years that as expenses have become more and more prevalent, and yet my pension has stayed the same and not made any increases, we are beginning to get more behind in what we can do in our lives. Recently, we just had a new air unit and all put in our home to the tune of $5,800. A friend had one in hers to the tune of $6,600. We now look at coupons each week in the paper to decide how we will spend our monies on our foods that we eat each week. We look at sales flyers to better find, things that we need and necessities in our home. We now, as someone else has mentioned, have to make more expenses for others to help take care of the upkeep in and around our homes. We are not making strides in our financial lives as we're getting older because of medical needs. We just ask that you include a permanent COLA in our pension fund each year, if at all possible. We appreciate your dedication to us as we dedicated our life to many of you and your children throughout the years in North Carolina.
My name is Dee Williams, Charlotte, Mecklenburg, and I have 30+ years.
My name is Minerva Hardy, and I also have 30+ years in Charlotte Mecklenburg school system.
Our story consists of our grandchildren. Our grandchildren have needs, and we provide for them. But why should our grandchildren have to wait from year to year to have their needs met? We need your support of the COLA. A COLA is necessary so that it will provide us with a decent living. Why should we have to wait until sometime after July the 1st, 2020?
My name is Gene Griffith, 27 years, Montgomery County. I retired in 2005, and I spent the next 5 years running Granddaddy's Daycare. My daughter had just had twins, and I took care of them for her, an expense that she did not have to bear. But we took care of our grandchildren like we felt that we ought to. The cost of everything has gone up. I have an automobile sitting in my yard right now, I'm nearly 20 years old, 120-some thousand miles, and I can't afford to buy a new one. But if I take it to the shop for repairs, the costs are exorbitant, and plus the fact that the legislature has been so kind as to place an additional service tax on those. It would only be so nice that that tax, which is going to the North Carolina General Assembly, well, some of that would come back to me and to these other folks in the form of a permanent cost of living adjustment.
I am Deanna Jeter. I've had 32 years of experience of teaching at the Thomasville City School System in Davidson County. You've heard the speakers before me saying how important it is to have this COLA. I'd like to give you an example of why I think it's necessary. Mine is for dental reasons. In 1972, I found out that I had a periodontal disease. And after the first surgery was the upper part of my gums, and after 6 weeks later, they did the lower part of the gums. It was hard at first, but I had to go back every 3 months since '72 to get preventive treatment. I've also had reconstruction surgery in my mouth several times, and I refuse to get it done anymore. I said, if my teeth want to fall out, let them fall out. I just have to add to the partial that I already have. It has not been easy, and I had to work part-time to help pay bills and other expenses that I encountered. Please, we need the COLA. Thank you.
You've heard from a few members of North Carolina Retired School Personnel Association. We are an organization that is almost 10,000 strong, and we're still growing. We say to the General Assembly, we need your help. We need your understanding. I'm quite sure that those of us that are 65 and older are not the only one in the shape that we're in. But members of the General Assembly, you can do something about our situation. You have the power to do it, and we are looking forward to you using your power to help the members of the North Carolina retired school personnel to live a decent and respectable retired life. We're looking forward to you doing what needs to be done. We're counting on you to do what needs to be done. Thank you so much for taking time to view this video. Thank you for that which you are going to do. Thank you for all of you for being with us today. And we appreciate all of the service that you have given, as well as those of the General Assembly. Thank you for the service that you have given. But there is one service that we really want to thank you for, and that is the 5% COLA increase, cost of living for retired school personnel. Thank you and good evening.